Thanks for everybody taking some time to join us today. And we're going to go ahead and just get moving with the district update first. So, two things that I want to go over. First, I guess there's three things. There's two bills that have been signed into law that will go into effect July 1st that will have an effect on school next year. I want to share those with everybody. And the first one has to do with Idaho Digital Learning Alliance, and I'm going to ask Casey to step in and talk at any point. He's got a lot of experience with this, but the gist of what happened with House Bill 940 is that it reduced funding for the IDLA by $13.4 million, which cuts their budget completely in half. So the IDLA is not going to be able to offer as many programs this year. They've got to cut back on the number of classes that they're going to teach. They've eliminated all of their elementary school programs. They eliminated driver's education, and they've eliminated custom sections. And the custom sections I would say, were important to us in the Ryrie district because there's a couple of courses the state has mandated over the last couple of years that we don't necessarily have teachers for in those areas. Digital literacy is one of those courses that they've required. This year we had a custom session for that, I believe. And so moving forward, we're going to have to figure out how we're going to offer those classes that the state is mandating that we may not be able to pull through the IDLA. So ultimately, those districts that rely heavily on IDLA, and a lot of those are rural districts, are going to suffer next year because of this. Casey, is there anything you would add to that?
Just the restriction, well, students can only take two courses at the regular price. And there is a price difference now. The ones that are required for graduation are still $40, which is nice. That's the same price. If they're not required for graduation, it's $100. So that's different. And then if you take more than two, it's a full 400 and some dollars to take a regular price course. So the prices have changed. They're expecting kids to only take two or fewer courses if they need to. If not, they're going to have to pay big.
Yeah. So this will be a big change next year. So if you have high school students that have been enrolled in IDLA classes, make sure you're aware of this. We'll have to do some things a little bit differently moving forward next year.
Hey, Jeff, real quick, just a question. Is
Yes.
that two a year or two for their career? I missed that.
Oh, two per semester, sorry.
Two per semester. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And anybody, if you have questions at any time as we're talking, feel free, just like Megan did, jump in, ask your question. We want to make this as open and transparent as possible. So please don't hesitate to do that. Thank you, Megan. The second bill, and this one's not going to be a huge issue for us, but this is the moment of silence bill, House Bill 623. It will make the beginning of every school day look a little different, and we'll have to figure out what that's going to mean for the Ryrie district. But ultimately, what this law requires is that every school must have at least 60 seconds of silence sometime during the first part of the school day. During that time, the students can use it for reflection, for meditation, prayer, quiet thinking. They can also use it for any activity that's silent and will not disrupt other students. Teachers and administrators aren't allowed to tell or encourage students how to use that time. So as we get into next year, we'll have a policy or a procedure in place on how this is going to look at the high school and the elementary school. But I just wanted everybody to be aware that is a change that's coming. This is one of those bills that there were worse versions, I guess is how I would describe it. There were bills to require prayer, Bible reading, a lot of different things. So I believe this bill passed as a, I guess the way I would say it is the best of the worst options. But again, moment of silence bill. This will be this will go into law in July.
Hey, Jeff,
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to share about this bill. Next year, if a kindergartner is not silent in the moment of silence, it is against the law. I will be contacting the police and pressing charges, as this is very serious that we are law-abiding citizens here. I'm completely joking. Don't go post
I,
that.
I will point out that Randy will not be here next year. So, and not because of that statement, but
That's because he's just going to arrest the Shelley kid. Have the Shelley kids arrested. That's
yeah,
all.
Shelley kids will get arrested.
I've invested in private prisons, so we should be good.
Last thing I did want to mention is it goes right along with Mr. Martineau. We are going to miss him next year. He is leaving us. Over the last Monday and Tuesday, we did interviews with some pretty good candidates. Nobody's going to quite fill his shoes, but we did have a couple of candidates that we feel pretty good about. I'm still in the process of checking references, but that process is underway, and we're looking for that replacement. So, Mr. Martineau, we appreciate everything you've done. We're going to miss you. All right. I want to turn it over to Trapper to talk about our supplemental levy that's going to be coming up in the May election. So, Trapper.
I'm going to make this pretty quick. Just wanted to remind everybody that we do have a supplemental levy a little over a month away on the election on May 19th. We are going to be doing a public meeting here in the boardroom at the junior senior high school on May 6th at 7 p.m. Please come ask questions. And if you can't make it to that and you have a question, reach out to me, Jeff, whoever. I know that Darby had a question today, and I hope I was able to answer it. Just more of a clarification. If I wasn't, please let me know. But yeah, ask your questions.
That was fast, Trapper. Do you want to go through the brochure at all?
I can again.
Just review quickly. We've got a pretty good group today. Just review what the levy is going to be used for.
Yeah, so our supplemental levy, I'll go through the difference for what we currently have to what we're proposing. So we're going to have classified salaries. We were at 150,000. We are going to be asking for 140,000. Certified salaries as a retention bonus, try to keep our good teachers. We're going to keep that the same at 82,000. Maintenance, we're going to keep the same at 75,000. Curriculum, keep it the same at 25,000. And our SRO, we are looking to get a full-time SRO. We also, for those of you who did know or didn't know, we had a grant for 3 years for an SRO that will be running out. So we are looking for 110,000 to be able to cover that need. And then we are going to be looking to buy one bus with the 2-year supplemental. So we have a bus divided in half, and that's what we'll be asking 75 for each year.
All right. Thank you, Trapper. All right, we'll turn it over to Mr. It looks like Mr. Martineau just stepped away from his computer. He's back. So we'll turn it over to you, Mr. Martineau.
Perfect. Okay. The kids are doing great. Over the last year, we went from about an average of 47% kids reading 4 nights a week. The last couple of months, we've been at 60%. We are excited about that growth. If the kids get 67%, they get to throw pies in my face. I'm not sure we're going to make it, but what I'll do is the grade levels who reach that 67% are going to be able to throw pie on me. So not everyone's going to be disappointed if we don't reach our goals, but we're trying. So good news is we've got more kids reading at home. ISATs start next week. I'm sending a letter home to parents with some tips and advice about, get enough sleep, eat a healthy breakfast, and give them the dates. Third through fifth is on the same schedule. They have English next week and math the week after. Sixth grade's a little different. We're working around the track schedule. We have a lot of sixth graders running track. And also what's happening is Mrs. Lurwill is teaching English and Miss Erickson is teaching math. So they're just switching their groups back and forth. So your kids, if you have a sixth grader, they should know what group they're in and what tests they're getting ready for. But we're excited. We've got somebody from the state coming to audit us. I hope they think our scores are so good they think we're cheating. So I want to show them that we are really that smart out here. Our kids were very successful at Sea Perch. We had 15 students go. And I love this program. My own, two of my daughters did this in Idaho Falls at a school. And they would build a robot and it would drive underwater and they'd have this competition. And they learned all about robots and teamwork. And the first year Ryrie was doing it, they worked hard and they got first in the mission event. They came home with a cute little trophy. You can see in the picture on the screen. But we're proud of our teachers and students who worked on that. Kindergarten Roundup. This is me saying, hey guys, usually we get about 2/3 of the kids here, meaning we usually get about 30 and then we end up with about 45 kindergartners, give or take. We had 22 show up. I don't know if there was a track meet or something going on, but if anybody in the community knows about a kindergartner who will be here next year, spread the word, have them call the office, send them our way. We'd love to have our records and be able to prepare as much as we can for successful start to kindergarten. It's kind of tough when sometimes parents just bring us kids on the first day of school and we don't know them, we don't know their records, and it slows things down. So if the community will help us spread the words, if you know a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old who's going to be 5 before September 1st, send them over to talk to us. Oh, did you guys freeze on me? Okay, there we go. Again, we've had a busy month and I'm so thankful. My PTSO just carried us and did so many neat things. I would imagine most everybody on here came to Donuts with grown-ups. We had 203 adults and I think we recorded 310 kids, but in the end, every kid in the school, which is about 350, 360, all got in and got a donut. I saw a ton of happy faces. The adults seemed happy to visit. And I'll tell you, the PTSO here at Ryrie is so strong and helpful. It really makes all the difference in our morale and culture here at the school. And it says something amazing about Ryrie Elementary that so many parents are showing up and welcome and their kids want them here. It's just, Ryrie's a neat place and it's so great to have so many kids here and the parents come. It's just fun that we can get together. We had a great assembly. The Idaho Falls Symphony Musical Ambassadors String Ensemble, they sent a quartet. The highlight of the show for me was at the end, they said, we're going to play a Taylor Swift song. Let's see if you guys know it. And you could hear all the kids start singing along the Taylor Swift lyrics. I don't know the name of the song. It was something about Romeo and Juliet and Marry Me. But it was fun because they all started humming and singing along. And it was a really great, really great assembly where the kids learned a lot. And then our cereal drive, the boxes, we got 510 boxes that are being donated to Ryrie Give and Gather. Again, the PTSO did this. They set up the dominoes and it was one of the most fun assemblies. The kids were cheering and they did something good. And it's going to help their peers and friends not be hungry this summer. So that was another great thing we did this month that I'm just proud to be part of this community. And I got to say, I'm really sad to be leaving it because you guys are awesome. And, like the old boyfriend, it's not you, it's me, but I'll miss you guys. So thank you.
All right, the junior senior high school report. If you have any feedback on Bulldog Olympics, please let me know. I sent this communication out to parents. Anyways, we may have to do something different next year. A lot of our students like it. It seems some of them may not like it as much. It was very positive and fun today. But anyways, definitely open to any kind of input the parents are hearing or how it's affecting you guys at your home. So just reach out, or if you want to say anything right now, totally okay with that. Yes, ISAT testing season, like Randy was talking about. So I'll kind of give you the rundown. I've been visiting all the 7th and 8th grade English classes and also the junior English classes. We're starting off with English first. So I wanted them to be prepared of how it was going to work. So I'm going to share the same information with you guys as that I shared with them. So we can go to the next slide, please. I wanted them to kind of know where we were at last year, and just to review for the parents. As a school, we're very strong in English language arts. You can see that we're way above the state, even above the elementary in that one. So we're proud of our efforts there. And then this is kind of the breakdown between the grade levels. You can see that each grade level is strong. This green box, that's 7th grade. That's 8th grade, the green box, and then our juniors did well too. These numbers to the right of the slide, that's where they are with their STAR proficiency. And there is a good correlation between ISAT proficiency and STAR proficiency, even though they're different tests, and they both measure proficiency levels. And so you can see that our 7th graders are right on track to do what they did last year. For some reason, our 8th graders dropped from their winter test to their spring. They did really awesome on their winter test, 74%, and then dropped on their spring. They probably had spring break on the brain, or maybe the test was a little bit harder. Anyways, we hope to see them get around 74%. That would be awesome on the ISAT. And the juniors also did high on their STAR score, 65%. So we're primed and ready in English language arts again. So we're excited about that. Here's the schedule for next week. The ones in yellow, that's the juniors when they're testing. So the juniors are going Monday, Wednesday. The 7th and 8th graders are going Monday. It's a shorter test. And then the 8th graders will take the performance task, which is a bunch of writing, on Tuesday. And the 7th graders will do theirs on Thursday. So the CAT means computerized adaptive test, and the PT means performance task. Basically, you do a lot of reading on the CAT, you do a lot of writing on the PT one. So that's why you have the longer times for those tests for the writing. This is kind of what I went over. Maybe you can even talk about this with your students, but the most important thing they can bring to testing, no one really enjoys testing, but it is important. So I always tell them to bring a good attitude to test their best. We are one of the best schools. Well, we are the best in the nuclear conference. If you look at the people we compete against, our scores are higher than anyone in the nuclear conference. I'll show you that. But even in the District 6, we're basically second to none. The little school of Swan Valley beat us, and then Rigby beat us in math. So we're doing really awesome there. I wanted the kids to know that, and to encourage them to keep up that tradition of really showing what they know. We are trying an experiment, just so you know, with a test grade. These tests are a lot of effort, and so instead of doing a final in the junior high classes, an English final, they're going to try to use the ISAT as the final grade, as a final test score. I'll show you what that looks like. It should help all the students. Yeah, here's what it looks like. So anyways, if they equal their lowest STAR level or higher, they'll get a B. If they equal their highest STAR level or higher, they'll get an A. So really, theoretically, if a student tries to do their best, they shouldn't do any worse than an A or a B on their final with the test. If they do slip back, they would get the score of whatever proficiency level they are. I don't see that happening. And parents, if you have any concerns, if this doesn't work out the way we're hoping, we're definitely going to talk to kids and make sure it was fair. We're just trying to something a little bit different so they don't have to do a final later on in the school year. So we're hoping that most kids will get an A or B, but if it doesn't, we'll be visiting with the kids. And if you have any concerns, don't hesitate to call. We can work through it. These are just really quick, our math results. You can see it's not as strong. You can see the elementary beat us in math and the state beat us in math. So we're working hard to get our math scores up this year. We're excited to hopefully see a change there. If you want to go to the next slide. You can see that our younger grade levels are doing well. They have 50% higher and 47 for 8th grade. But you can see we had a big drop off last year with our junior class with a 20% proficient. That happened because a lot of juniors were not taking math their junior year. They had already finished their requirements. I still think sometimes the online affects that too. Some students were taking online math, which is great. I think you can learn a lot unless you're using photo math and you're not understanding it. And we had some, growing pains with our math that we've been working on. So altogether, our juniors did not do very well. We're hoping for better this year. And, science, we're a little bit lower than the elementary, a little bit lower than the state. And 8th grade and the junior class does that. You can see where they were last year. We're hoping to match those numbers or higher this year. And then the last slide that I'm really proud of, our scores are not where we want them, but they're higher than anyone else in our conference. We were only beat by Firth in math, Firth High School, that is, and we were only beat by Salmon Junior Senior High School in science. So even though they don't look great as far as proficiency levels, we're beating everybody else in the nuclear conference, and we hope to get better. Oh yeah, parent input committee. I'll be sending out an email letting you know where we're at. It's been a really busy spring like it always is, and we haven't met since Callie met about the book adoption thing. So I'll give you guys an update if you're on that committee. We are going to recommend a new teacher to the board tonight. Hopefully they'll approve that, so we'll have a new math teacher next year. We're excited about that. But if you have any questions about the parent input committee, please let me know. I'll be sending an email out today as well.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
What do you hope the math teacher teaches the new one? Can you tell us anything? I know it hasn't been board approved yet, but is there anything you can tell I
probably should talk about this. It's going to be a lot of Algebra 1 and a lot of Algebra 2 next year. We're going to try to push geometry to the junior year, and I'll tell you why. The ISAT doesn't test a lot of geometry. If a kid can do well in Algebra 2, the kid's going to be able to pass the ISAT in math. And to be honest, statewide, a lot of kids don't pass the ISAT in math. As you saw, our junior scores were very low. That's not uncommon for a lot of schools. So we're really hoping by teaching Algebra 2 their sophomore year, first of all, they'll have the skills they need to do well in the test. And second of all, geometry is a whole nother discipline of math that's very different. So we feel like putting geometry between Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 just kind of confuses kids a little bit. Instead of building on what they already know with Algebra 1, we throw them into another discipline called geometry, and then we take them back to Algebra 2 later. Anyways, we're going to try to go Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and then do geometry as juniors. See how that goes. We're hoping it's going to be better all the way around. But yeah, he'll be teaching Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and this teacher can also do like financial literacy. That's what he was really good at, and like career math if we need that. So that hopefully answers your question.
Thanks,
Can I ask
Casey.
another?
Real quick.
Can I ask another question?
Can I just finish mine up real quick? I just
Yeah.
had a quick question. Is there also a fast track for those math students that are good at it and are trying to achieve greater things and dual credits and college and all those things? Will there be a fast track?
Yes, in fact, we're going to have some 8th graders and maybe even some 7th graders in Algebra 2 next year as freshmen. So they'll definitely be on the fast track. But yeah, we never want to hold kids back. If there's a need and kids need to go faster, we'll find a way to make it happen.
Will there be anything past geometry offered there at the school?
Yes, we're hoping to build up those higher levels like pre-calculus. we haven't had the interest lately. Kids just haven't been prepared for it and weren't interested in it. We had it one semester, only had 2 students. So we're hoping to get pre-calc back to those higher numbers and eventually even calculus. So if there's a need and an interest, we will have the classes available. But lately, there hasn't been that need or interest.
Okay.
All right. Stacy, again, I apologize for missing your slide.
That's
Good.
okay, no problem. Okay, so I just want to give a little data for special ed. We have 92 kids in special ed at this point. We have 8 that are in referral that we haven't gotten consents back for, and we have 7 in referral that we already have consents back. So that is 15 students that we're trying to finish before the end of the school year. So that's a lot of kiddos, but we also have in our 504s, we have 57 students. One of the great things that we did this last month in March, I was able to take all of my special ed staff, the teachers, and my psychologist and our speech and language pathologist, and we went to what's called CEC, which is a national conference for special ed. And while we were there, I just got a condo and we all stayed there. So we did some training, and we did training on consents and evaluations, developing a PLAF, which is a goal for kiddos, secondary transition, and then building strong annual goals. So March was a great month for special ed.
All right. Thank you, Stacy. Student activities. Matt, did you make it on?
I'm here. Yeah. Can you guys
All
hear me?
right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So junior high track is underway. We are about halfway done with the junior high track season. These photos are from the first track meet of the year up at Chalice, where we experienced literally every form of weather there. But kids have been doing great. If I remember right from last week, the boys took first and the girls took second. And in this meet, the one with the photos, the boys took first and the girls took third. So a little bit of improvement from week to week, which is good. We've got, I want to say around 76 kids that are out for junior high track, which is awesome. So they're having lots of fun. We're just hoping we can get a meet that's a little bit warmer than it has been as of late. So high school track. They've gone to 4 meets so far. Started with our home meet, which we did before spring break. They went to Malad over spring break, went to Preston 2 weeks ago. And then last week we most of the team went to the Sugar Salem track meet. The photos you see on the screen there are from the Boise Relays, which is held at Boise State University at Donald Larson Park. That's a qualifying meet where you have to have a certain qualifying mark in order to be able to participate there. And we were able to take about 16 kids with us, which was pretty awesome. So definitely an opportunity to compete. And we were one of the smallest schools there. We were competing against a lot of 5A and 6A schools, but it was great for our kids to be able to do that and to be able to participate in a big meet like that and hopefully prepare them for the state track meet well. Softball team, we have a young softball team this year, only 1 senior on the squad. We've only had 1 home game so far. We were supposed to have one yesterday, but the weather had other ideas. And we had to cancel the home game the week before because of the weather as well, but we've rescheduled that game from yesterday to Monday. This is a photo of when they played Firth here a few weeks back. Our girls team took down West Jefferson on the road on Tuesday, 19-11. Lots of learning and growth opportunities there. They're getting better game by game, so they're playing better and better and better. And so hopefully we can get the weather to cooperate with us a little bit, and we can have some nice weather for softball. And then this is DYW. Congratulations to Hallie Huntsman, who was the named Distinguished Young Woman of Ryrie for this upcoming year. Yeah, it was a great opportunity to see their talents and to there's a lot of scholarships handed out. We appreciate the girls for participating and Jody Nelson and her crew for doing this. Jody's been involved for 36 years doing this, which is pretty remarkable, and she's done a heck of a job. So DYW is excellent. Golf there. We see that this was the golf team at their first meet. This was at, where was it? I think it was at Salmon. They were up at Salmon for this one. Both the boys and the girls won this tournament. Last week, the team, or this week, excuse me, the team had our home tournament, and they also won that one, both the boys and the girls. Jake Landon, our golf coach, said that he thought that the girls' score was among the best that we may have ever had in school history from this tournament, which is pretty awesome. Next week, they're going to we have a sugar, the varsity's going to Sugar, the JV's going to Chalice, and then later on in the week, the team is going down to Blackfoot to play in the Snake River tournament there. Districts are only 2 weeks away for them, and then the state tournament is the second week of May. So it's we're getting down to it here, getting down towards the end of the season. But they're having a very successful year so far too.
All right. Hey, thank you, Matt. Thank you, everybody that presented today. One thing I did fail to mention that I wanted everybody to be aware of, the building for our new or the metal shell for our new ag building should be delivered tomorrow. Looks like I'm having some computer issues. I don't know if anybody else.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. I've just lost my screens for some reason. But we're excited about that the building should be delivered tomorrow. So most of the parking lot where the teachers used to park is going to be filled up with that building. We're moving right along with that project. We're extremely hopeful that we'll be in that building by the time school starts next year. But we're also asking them to build at 6 months. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're definitely working hard out there to get that done. So let's see. So at this point, hopefully you can still hear me because I don't know what's going on out with
We
you
can hear
guys. But if there are questions, please unmute and ask.
Jeff, can you hear me?
Jeff, can you hear? I think it's Angela. Jeff, hello. I don't think
Trapper,
you can.
can you hear me? Is Trapper still on?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm actually going to take my laptop to Jeff's office so that he can be back
Well,
on.
this is kind of aimed towards what you were discussing. I wonder if you should clarify as when does it start? Because I know it's being ran a little bit earlier than normal, correct?
Yes. Are you back?
I just got back.
Sorry, Jeff's back, so I'm heading back to my office. So our current supplemental levy that we have will be in effect for next year. We did run this one to start planning for the possibility of an elementary school bond. So we ran it a little bit earlier than normal. This one, so fiscal year 27 is next year. It wouldn't take effect until fiscal year 20. So 27, 28, and then 28, 29.
Do we have any other questions from the group? Anything else that the administrative team wants to add before we close the meeting?
I'll just say thank you for your continued support.
Absolutely. Remember, we do have a school board meeting tonight. Starts at the regular meeting starts at 7 p.m. Work meeting does start at 6. So if you're looking for something to do for a date night, feel free to come out and join us. And with that, again, we appreciate your support. Appreciate you coming out and listening today. And we'll see you next month.